What do you make of the fact that McDaniels has still not been announced as the Colts coach?
That I believe the report. I believe that he knows that there's tension in that building. He knows that Coach Belichick could possibly step away, and he doesn't want to be in a situation, even if it's not this year, Skip. He signs a contract with the Colts, and after next season, Coach Belichick steps away.
I agree.
And that's what he's waiting on.
Yep.
He would like for, I believe, he would like for the Patriots to offer him, say, another $1 million. Mm-hmm. And then say, well, I'll stay. And then if something goes with Coach Belichick walks away. But he's assuming that Mr. Kraft would name him the head coach.
You would have to have some assurance.
Exactly.
You know?
Now, we saw George Seifert. I mean, Bill Walsh had the kind of cachet.
Yeah.
He could name his successor. George Seifert won a Super Bowl the year after.
As the defensive coordinator.
Right.
Yep.
And then the next year in '89, they beat the brakes off the Broncos in the Super Bowl 55-10. And then about, 6 years later, they won another Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So we've seen that before, but that's not normally how it happens. A lot of times, we saw that with the Rams. Dick Vermeil steps down. Mike Morris is the offensive coordinator. Yep. He steps up. He takes them to a Super Bowl. He doesn't win. But this is strange. Now, I get it right after the game, not wanting to talk about it because you're still you're trying to get over and try to get through the process. Man, we just lost the Super Bowl. We had 600-plus yards, 500 yards passing, only one turnover. We rushed for over 100 yards, and we lost the game. So I get not wanting to talk about the Colts then. But Monday? Why not? Normally what happens if the coaches are in the Super Bowl or someone from the staff is in the Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl that Monday morning, such and such is the head coach, as we expected, such and such is the head coach.
Yep.
I'm just trying to figure why the hesitation. I believe, Skip, that if he does not take this job and he's given the Colts his word that he would, I don't believe he'll ever get another head coaching job again.
It's a good point. Yeah. It is odd it has gone this long with no word out of Indianapolis. When we saw with the defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, it was like, boom. And it was a foregone. They talked about it for a couple of weeks. You just knew it was coming, and right on schedule yesterday, I guess, during the day, they announced that they're hiring him, and he issued a statement through the Lions. Zero from Indy. It's a little too quiet. Now, I'm going to use a phrase from Deflategate days. It's still more likely than not that Bill Belichick will be the head coach in New England next year. More likely than not. But I'm back to the ESPN story by Seth Wickersham, which I believe in. There is a serious rift. And it's actually between Belichick and Kraft. And Brady's kind of caught
in the middle of it.
Right?
Right.
And does Belichick hate Tom Brady personally? No. Does Tom hate Bill? He's told his friends, I don't really know him that well. I just work with him. They're like business partners.
But it's 2 against 1.
2 against 1.
It's Brady, Mr. Kraft against Coach Belichick.
Right. And we've seen in Tom versus Time, sitting at the table with his mom, and it's another FaceTime, so they FaceTime all the time.
Remember Eric Dickerson?
Yeah.
He was in Israel.
I know. And they're FaceTiming, and it's Tommy. Robert Kraft calling him Tommy. And
that's what his dad calls him.
And he tells the mom, Tom's mom, to call him RK. Call me RK. Okay. So.
Okay, Robert.
All right. Yeah. So we get that. And so it felt like Garoppolo had become kind of like a son to a man, Bill Belichick, who had picked him diamond in the rough in the second round.
Coach Belichick, it seems to me that Coach Belichick had the relationship with Jimmy Garoppolo that Brady wanted to have with Coach Belichick.
Agreed. Well said. That's insightful. I'm with you. And so all of a sudden, it sure appears like the gavel got dropped on Bill Belichick, and he's a proud man with 5 Super Bowl rings. He was ordered before the trade deadline, you will trade him.
Right.
And he said, okay, I'm going to pick a new home for my son, Jimmy G.
Right.
I'm going to call Kyle Shanahan, another young coach that he's sort of mentored, and it's almost feeling like he's a protege of Belichick through the father, Mike, he played for because they were very close.
Very.
And boom, he just calls up Kyle Shanahan, says, I will give you Jimmy Garoppolo for a 2.
Right.
Will you take it? Yeah, how quickly can we say yes to this?
Right.
So, again, I said earlier, that felt a little sabotagey to me, like he's sort of giving him away to the right place. But
he's cutting his nose off to spite his face.
A little bit.
You make me do it, okay.
Yeah. So, now let's look at Bill Belichick's options here. Let's say he's had enough. Let's say he can't live with that mandate to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. that he got his sort of wrist slapped and he just finally says, you know what, I've earned better than this. Okay, what could he do right now? He could walk away for a year and hope that whatever, it's never been reported exactly what contract they have.
Correct.
But he could ask Robert Kraft, just let me go, just let me out, but I'll go for a year. I'll just regenerate. You know, I'll just recharge for a year.
Right.
And then I'll assess the lay of the land, and I'll pick where I want to come back in. He could also pick to come back in the way Coughlin did. Well, Green Bay would be a possibility, but he could pick
run a football operation.
He could do what Coughlin's doing, where he comes back in as the overseer of the operation. And he could help coach from above, but he wouldn't have to get his hands as quote-unquote dirty. It wouldn't be quite as hard on him. You know? So,
go ahead.
Okay, so you got that. Or you could, I don't know what situation that they're, I don't think he would want the Indianapolis situation. I mean, could they have a turnabout where all of a sudden Belichick takes the Indianapolis situation?
No, I don't think Coach Belichick wants that either.
And then further back to your point about Josh McDaniels, which is a good point, I'm not sure that even Tom Brady would endorse Josh McDaniels. I'm not sure as the next guy. And I'm not sure Robert Kraft would choose Josh McDaniels as the next guy. So I'm not sure about all that. But it is still possible to me that this rift is so deep that he's going to want out some way. It maybe to walk away for a year, or it's possible he would take a GM job somewhere. It's possible.
I think the thing is, Skip, Coach Belichick knows if I win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm going to get all the credit. See, we're going to have this debate as long as they're there together. Who's more, what percentage, who gets more of the credit? Coach Belichick or Tom Brady. Well, he knows if he has Jimmy Garoppolo, he's going to get all the credit.
Sure.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
And I keep saying, he's earned the right to try to go win one of these things without Tom Brady. He has.
And guess what? And the Kraft, Mr. Kraft and his son Jonathan, just keep driving that. Tommy has earned the right to walk away when he wants to.
They said that, which I don't even agree with that.
Tom Brady said he wants to play into his mid to late 40s. Mid 40s.
Yep.
Mr. Kraft says he's talking about playing till he's 50. The only person, you hear Belichick, you hear Alex Guerrero, you hear Jonathan Kraft, Mr. Kraft, everybody talking about Tom Brady playing on and on and on. The one man who has never said anything about how long Tom Brady's going to play is BB, the guy with the cuff sleeves.
That is correct. No.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why he also does not get close to the player, because he knows there will come a time that you will have to release said player, no matter how great he is. Skip, Joe Montana, Emmitt Smith, Bruce Smith, some of the all-time greats.
Heck, I go back to Joe Namath, came out here with the Rams to end it. It was
Johnny Unitas.
Johnny U.
Some of the all-time greats.
Had to end it elsewhere.
And so Coach Belichick knows it becomes really hard if we're friends. It's hard. See, that's Mr. Kraft can't separate it. Tom has gotten too close to him. He views him as a son. That's why it was so hard for Jerry Jones to really get Tony Romo, because once you start him coming over to family dinners and we FaceTime and I'm giving your mom or getting rings or pendants like only the players and coaches get, that's on a different level. Because you heard him, Skip. Only players and coaches get these. And that's what she got. So he views Tom like a son.
Sure he does.
Ain't no way. That's like saying he wouldn't jettison Jonathan, his son, and that's how he views Tom Brady.
No, I agree. So, of all the owners in this league, the one who knows best to back off in the couple of days after you lose the Super Bowl is this guy, because he knows knee-jerk decisions when you're raw from the loss, not smart for the long haul. So I'm assuming he's asked Josh and everyone just to calm down for at least 48 hours. Just let things settle. Let your emotions settle before we go forward. But it's going to take all of Robert Kraft's charm and his people skills to mend these fences. He says he wants to sit down with both Brady and Belichick in some remote circumstance, like go to the island somewhere.
Coach Belichick say teleconference me.
Because you know what? He probably would. I would agree with that.
Hey, Skip, Coach Belichick's feelings is hurt because you heard me. Skip, all these years, we've never heard anything come out of New England. We heard
a lot of things coming out of New England these days.
And then they release a statement, and then Mr. Kraft sits down and says, I would like to keep this thing together 2 or 3 more years, but we got to get quote unquote egos in check. I'm not going to say it's dysfunction, but there is tension.
Tension for sure. Does Tom Brady deserve the blame for the Patriots' loss on Sunday? Rob Parker answers that question next.
Detroit!